security. God, Dellinger's a civilian.
He got in to stop that. Muta gave him the karate kick.
Wait a minute. Here comes Sting. Sting is going to come to Flair's aid. Sting hammering away at Muta.
Somebody had to come in to save the champion.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Clash of Champions 8. I'm Jim Ross, along with James E. Cornette. We will describe the action live as it happens. From the Carolina Coliseum, we're coming to you from Columbia, South Carolina. In addition to seeing that tremendous main event, a lot of talk in the back of the locker room area. Rumors are afloat surrounding Gary Hart. Jimmy, you've been there. You know what's going on.
There have been rumors running around the locker room all night about Gary Hart's camp, and a lot of people are saying it may not be good news for Gary Hart, but being a manager, being that I know the position Gary Hart is in, he has the chance tonight on national television to make a dramatic impact on the sport of professional wrestling and to do some damage to Ric Flair and Sting. And I've got to believe, no matter what the rumors are, that Gary Hart has a plot concocted tonight to get the better of the Nature Boy and the Stinger.
So many rumors are afloat in this situation, fans. And Jimmy and I will be joined by our esteemed colleague, the Dean of Wrestling Commentators, the legendary Gordon Solie, who is standing by right now in the locker room area. Let's go back to Gordon Solie. Indeed, there are rumors afloat. He's standing by with Gary Hart.
Thanks, Jim. Well, I will say this, that rumors are flying tonight, and they're flying about problems in Gary Hart's camp. I decided the best thing to do is to go right to the man himself, Gary Hart, and ask him point blank, are there problems in your camp, sir?
There's no problems in our camp, Gordon. Whoever's been filling your head with these rumors and making these accusations, it's probably coming from Flair and Sting. Because I can imagine right at this time you're sitting in your dressing room shaking right down to your very bones. Because there is going to be a major problem tonight, right here on national television, and it's going to take place in the main event. And you got a lot of problems, Ricky Flair, and you got a lot of problems, Sting. This possibly could end your wrestling career tonight. As far as me having any problems with J-Tex, there are no problems no matter what anybody tells you, Gordon.
All right, there you have it, direct from the man himself, Gary Hart. There are no problems in his camp. Well, the rumors have been flying, but I guess he says they're just not there at all. We'll be back with more action after this message.
Wrestling fans, the first contest in the Fall Brawl. It is a special tag team attraction. It is set for one fall to a finish. Introducing first, the first team coming down toward the ring area.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the team that's going to make the Road Warriors cry worse than Jim Baker on the last day of a trial. Samu Fatu, the SST!
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents. They will be led to the ring by their manager, Precious Paul Ellering, from Chicago, Illinois. Total combined weight, 590 pounds. The Legion of Doom, the Road Warrior.
All right, fans, we are ready for this one. The Road Warriors and the Samoa SWAT team.
Jim, the place is going crazy. The Road Warriors in the ring, and I'll tell you what, It was 1985, the first time that I stood in the ring with the Midnight Express and heard the notes of that music and watched these guys come out of the dressing room. And I don't care how tough you are or how bad you are, the first thought in any human being's mind is break and run, brother, when they see those guys coming at you.
The Road Warriors so many times have been named Tag Team of the Year. The gentleman I'm working with knows exactly what that honor means as far as tag team wrestling is concerned.
We have Bill Apter, as a matter of fact, tonight from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. The Road Warriors Tag Team of the Year, 4 out of 6 years. Only the Midnight Express was able to break their reign.
Starting off very quickly and physically. The big left foot right to the face of Animal. Fatu and Animal both over that 300-pound mark. And there's a power slam that shakes the Carolina Coliseum.
And Animal is going wild. Look at those arms. Look at that chest. As a matter of fact, look at the whole body. Paulie dangerously, he has had trouble keeping these Samoans in line ever since he's had them. They're wild beasts. The Samoan people naturally are fierce warriors. Always have been. They're a warlike people, and they are uncontrollable. But at this point, Paulie trying to regroup them, get them back in the ring where they can stick to their game plan as Hawk makes the tag, comes into the ring.
Powerful headbutts by Samu, who is the legal man in the ring with Hawk. He had the big arm cock for the clothesline. One of the favorite offensive moves of the Warriors.
But wait a minute, Animal out on the floor. He came around the corner of the ring and now dumps him back into the ring where Hawk's waiting on him. The Samoans are definitely not getting off to a quick start here tonight. And look at Paulie stomping around, slapping around, carrying that silly phone.
Powerful scoop slam by the Hawk. Straight down with a powerful fist. Indeed, this is a high-impact match. 1, 2, and Nick Patrick, the official assigned to this contest. A near fall situation, and Animal will be tagged back in. Standing drop kick by Hawk. Great agility by the 285-pounder.
All 4 of these men, Jim, very, very large, but they have unbelievable agility, great quickness, especially the Samoans. The Samoans are unbelievably quick and agile for their size. But I still say the Road Warriors, pound for pound, ounce for ounce, move for move, have been the most dominant tag team in professional wrestling over the past 5 years. In the NWA, only the Road Warriors, and I gotta say again, the Midnight Express have dominated on top every year. 85, 86, 87, 88, and 89.
Powerful tackle there by Animal. Tagging in Hawk, the Road Warriors tagging in with precision-like maneuvers. Big chop, right hand, another chop, and a right hand. This is a street fight from the streets of Chicago where these men were reared. Another clothesline.
Oh. The Road Warriors have done more than any other team, I think, to dominate him.
Trying for the pin here.
Almost had him down, Jim. The Road Warriors have done more than any other team, any other individuals in professional wrestling to change the face of the sport. I believe that they've...
Oh, what a move. All the way, he hit the post, all the way out to the floor. And now Hawk is in big trouble. He's on the floor.
He was not able to grab the ropes, wasn't able to slow his momentum down at all. He went straight through into that post, ricocheted off onto the floor. I was about to say, the Road Warriors have had more trouble with the Samoan SWAT team than they've had with almost any other team, and they feel tonight they have to prove to the national television audience they are the dominant team.
Oh man, what a move.
That's how it's done.
That's from the
how
streets.
it's done.
Yeah, that's how Paulie has other people do it. That's how he has other people get it done. He couldn't do it himself.
The Road Warriors and the Samoans, we knew that this match, they would be pulling out all stops here as we are coming to you fans live from Columbia, South Carolina. Phenomenal crowd on hand. Thanks for being with us. Big power slam. And Hawk is in drastic trouble here. Lateral press. 1, 2, 2.5 as a matter of fact.
They've done everything they can so far to take the breath away from Hawk, and they've got him gasping. You can see his cheeks blowing out. Several sustained blows to the midsection, and now that bear hug. But listen to the people. Listen to this crowd in the Carolina Coliseum. Columbia has been an NWA stronghold for years, and they're behind the Road Warriors.
Animal trying to make his way to the corner. The tag was made. I don't think the referee saw it. And he did not.
Samu had stepped into the ring. The referee Nick Patrick was putting him back to the apron, and that's when the tag was made. It wasn't the referee's fault. He just didn't see it because Samu had entered the ring.
Cannot allow a tag unless it is seen. And Hawk retaliates with a thunderous chop, and the second one. Samu raking the eyes and backing Hawk into the corner.
Once again, they're continuing to work on Hawk's midsection. That's about the only way. These guys are equals in size and power. I think that's about the only way the Samoans feel like they can take the advantage is by keeping Hawk breathless.
Right off the top came Fatu. That's over 300 pounds.
They're hitting him from every direction at once and not giving him a chance to recover.
1, 2. Oh, he's got, I thought he had him there. The shoulder was up, just inches up.
And the Road Warriors, the former tag team champions of the world, the Samoan SWAT team, has been in top contention for that honor. They're battling it out for all they've got.
Here comes Fatu off the top.
He tried to jump and hit. Hawk raised his foot, caught him up under the chin. And now Hawk's made the tag.
Animal and Samu, the legal men in the ring. Samu sent for the ride. Big elbow by the Animal. These four big giants of tag team wrestling. Now they're giving a quarter.
Beautiful, great leaping ability. Charged into him with the strength of an 18-wheeler. And now Hawk coming over to save Animal from that attack from behind by Fatu.
Hawk and Samu outside, or Fatu rather, but it's Samu and Animal, the legal men in the ring. Remember that.
These guys are cooking, and now, yes, it's Hawk been running to the post, and now the Samoan SWAT team in the ring by themselves with Animal alone.
The telephone went flying outside the ring.
Hawk went out to try to recover, but I think he figured he did have an advantage now. Wait a minute. Ellering's throwing the phone in. Precious Paul Ellering with an assist there.
Can he get him up? My God, what strength! Hawk is on the top rope. Animal has Fatu. Oh, what a move!
He got the big man up, and he took the big man over.
The Road Warriors have won it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, my God!
the winners of the match, the Road Warriors!
You didn't see it on camera. Precious Paul Ellering grabbed Paulie dangerously, a right hand to the jaw, dangerously took a flip in the air, and Paul Ellering destroyed that telephone. The Samoan SWAT team has been demoralized here, but mostly Paulie dangerously. He's down. He's got to be wondering what happened. You see on the replay. Hawk, beautiful clothesline after Animal ducked out of the way. Precious Paul Ellering out on the floor. There's a good catch by Hawk. He threw that phone in. He nails Fatu. He goes to the top rope.
What strength it was of that move, fans. The Samoans have suffered a defeat. Right there, you see the telephone. It was demolished by Paul Ellering. And fans,
What? I think Samu is asking Paulie dangerously just what the heck happened. They got hit with the telephone. They got beaten. They got
well, I'll tell you something. The Samoans are not happy with Paulie dangerously whatsoever. And fans, will be back. The debut of the Z-Man in 1 moment.
I love it. I love it.
It's coming.
An evening of unspeakable horror.
It's coming.
Terrifying destruction.
It's coming.
A howling good time with the monsters of professional wrestling. It's coming! October 28th, Halloween Havoc 89, settling the score. A pay-per-view event bordering on the edge of insanity. Call your cable operator for availability, if you dare.
Wrestling fans, the following contest on Clash of Champions 8, it is set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing in the ring, hailing from Havana, Cuba, he weighs 237 pounds, the Cuban Assassin. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, making his NWA debut, weighing 258 pounds, the Z-Man.
Bell has sounded. We're ready here for action. One fall, 20-minute time limit indeed. We are looking forward to our next big pay-per-view spectacular Saturday night, October 28th in Philadelphia. Tickets on sale now throughout the greater Philadelphia area for that event.
There's a few ghoulish faces in the NWA. I can think of Gary Hart for one that would look appropriate on a Halloween pay-per-view.
Good reversal by the Z-Man. Great drop kick, putting the Cuban Assassin on his back. One more time, all the way outside. Fans, I want to remind you that Joe Pedicino and Lance Russell are calling the action tonight on our NWA Wrestling Hotline. And Jim Cornette and Lance will be hosting our wrap-up show tonight, right after we go off the air at 10:30.
I'm looking forward to that. I always like to work with Lance Russell. He's a super pro.
He certainly is. And that will be coming up right after our broadcast concludes. The big post-game wrap-up live with Jim Cornette and Lance Russell on the Wrestling Hotline. We'll give you that number a little bit later in the program. Great drop kick there by the Z-Man. Jimmy, he looks to be about 6'2 and a half, 6'3", at least 250 pounds, but he moves like a junior heavyweight, a man much smaller.
Gary Capetta, the world's most dangerous announcer. Paul Schaefer's illegitimate brother had him at 258, I believe, and he looks every bit of it. But like you said, he's moving like a cat. And the Cuban Assassin, he's a veteran, a 10-year veteran of professional wrestling. He's tried several different maneuvers, several different tactics. So far, nothing has worked against the Z-Man.
Side headlock by the Cuban Assassin. He shot off very quickly. Nice football tackle, though, there by the man from Havana. Good, great arm drag. In very deeply with it.
Beautiful, that was textbook technique right there. Picture perfect. He scooped in deep, already had his body turning, used the Cuban's own momentum against him. And look, there you go. Fidel's favorite wrestler, proving once again he's not just another pretty face.
We want to remind the fans to join us this Saturday night, 6:05 here on Superstation TBS. 2 great hours of World Championship Wrestling action here on TBS, the Superstation.
I'll be there with you.
You sure will. Jim Cornette and I will be hosting that program, and the Dynamic Dudes return, along with the rowdy Texan Dick Murdoch. TB yes.
TB yes. And right now, yes, the Cuban did use the fist, and he's backing the Z-Man up.
Over the top he goes, trying to use his strength. He's got him over. 1, 2. But the Cuban too strong, Jimmy, on this occasion. But right back to the arm drag.
That just goes to show you that the Z-Man is always thinking. He's always trying to figure a way, even when the Cuban momentarily takes the advantage, to come out of it.
And the Cuban now going to the second rope. Let's see what he does here. Attempted headbutt. Underscore the word attempted.
And that's got to look bad back in Havana, because this Cuban, he hates American wrestlers. He doesn't like the American ideals. He's going to be embarrassed if the Z-Man takes his measure here on national television in America.
The Cuban met him coming into the corner. The Cuban has the edge and experience here. He's a 10-year veteran in the sport.
Don't know how much experience the Z-Man has. You can tell he's still a youngster, but he looks to know his way around the ring.
And he's got him right there. There's the sleeper. We've heard about he was the only thing he would really talk about was that he liked to use the sleeper.
Well, he's got his opportunity right now, the Cuban Assassin. He's too far from the ropes to grab the ropes. I don't see how he can break it. I don't think he's gonna break it. He didn't break it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, the Z-Man!
In his debut in the National Wrestling Alliance, Jim.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Clash of Champions 8, the Fall Brawl. It has been an exciting day here in Columbia, South Carolina. It has been declared Ric Flair Day by Governor Carroll Campbell of South Carolina. Let's go now to a very special presentation.
Rick, I'm going to read this proclamation on a day that we've set aside in South Carolina. Whereas organized sporting events provide a wholesome form of recreation and play an important role in the lives of South Carolinians. And whereas Ric Flair, throughout his professional wrestling career, has provided countless hours of entertainment for fans throughout the world, and whereas Ric Flair has focused national attention on the Carolinas through the various titles that he has won, including 6 World Heavyweight Championships, the U.S. Heavyweight Championship, Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Championship, World Television Championship, World Tag Team Championship, and the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championship, And whereas many fans of professional wrestling consider Ric Flair to be the greatest wrestler of all time due to his unique ability for styling and profiling, and whereas Ric Flair has helped countless Americans through his unselfish contributions to various charitable organizations, and whereas Ric Flair, through the international language of sports entertainment, has used his enormous talent to spread goodwill throughout the world, now therefore I, Carroll A. Campbell Jr., Governor of the state of South Carolina, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, September the 12th, 1989, as Ric Flair Day.
Thank you, Governor, very much. It's a great honor. Thank you.
Wrestling fans, the following contest in Clash of Champions 8, it is set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first from Ackworth, Georgia. He weighs 229 pounds, a true American, Ranger Ross.
We want to remind the fans this weekend, big action for the NWA in St. Louis and Corpus Christi, Texas. Also, Kansas City, where Harley Race will make a special appearance. Also in Lubbock, Texas, a great weekend for the NWA.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, Theodore R. Long presents from Metropolis, accompanied by his tag team partner, Dangerous Dan Spivey, runner-up of the Skyscrapers, Sid Vicious.
He just got Ranger Ross right in the back of the head from behind.
He nailed him from behind as the Ranger was responding to the adulation of the fans, dropping him on the security railing outside the ring. Theodore R. Long directing traffic out there. Ranger Ross started the match at a disadvantage, decidedly the underdog against this big monster, but he's certainly there now.
Ranger Ross, no stranger to adversity. He was in the mission on Grenada. He achieved the commendation for President Reagan while he was in the Rangers. He's no stranger to adversity. He's very hard to intimidate, and he's firing right now on Big Sid Vicious.
Vicious caught him right there, front face lock, and that running DDT. What a big monster he is. Another indication that the NWA has got all the top young studs in this sport, including the Z-Man, including Sting, and of course the total package, the Whirly-Bird by Vicious. And Ranger Ross is no small man.
Ranger Ross is no small man, 240 pounds, but Sid Vicious, he's treating him like he's a doll.
1, 2, 3, the power bomb, and he's won another one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, Sid Vicious!
Fans, don't forget that Joe Pedicino and Lance Russell are covering this live on the NWA Wrestling Hotline. Boy, look, what a move here.
We see on the replay, Ranger Ross, this was not fair to Ross. He never had a chance, but through fair means or foul, you talk about the young stars, Sid Vicious could be the predominant young star in professional wrestling.
I predict he'll be the world's heavyweight champion someday. That's how far I'm going with it. This man is an awesome force. Who can stop the Skyscrapers? Will it be the Road Warriors? Only time will tell, and we'll be right back on TBS, the Superstation, in one moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Ross and James E. Cornette here on the Clash of Champions 8, the Fall Brawl. The rumors are still running rampant in the locker room area. We'll report on the Gary Hart situation in a few moments, but to depart from the seriousness of the moment for just a second, we do have a very special feature.
A very special video feature that I understand, Jim, that you wanted to go on, but they thought better of it. Well, now that Missy Hyatt's been associated with the Steiners for some time and Robin Green has come into the picture, well, maybe Missy and Robin have some things to talk about, and we know they like to go shopping because that's what this feature is all about. Missy and Robin go shopping.
I can't believe Ricky gave you your own credit card to go out shopping with.
I know, and the best thing is the bill goes to his house so I can buy anything I want and not worry about it. I got us this limo today so we could go shopping. What do you want to go and shop for?
I don't know. I'm with you. You tell me.
Or shoes or jewelry maybe. I can't decide. Sir Peter, take us to the best shops, won't you? Thank you. So, what do you think of this, Missy?
I think it's fine, but haven't you tried on everything in the store?
Yeah, but I can't make up my mind. Maybe I'll just get everything. So, Missy, what did you think about the dress I got?
I liked it, but I don't know why you need another dress for after the class. You can wear the same one you're going to wear.
Oh, I don't know. I just thought a nice silk dress would look nice for the party. You don't think $1,200 was too much to pay for a little silk dress, do you?
Yeah, I really do.
I don't think so. Well, I need to get some jewelry to go with it. Let's go to the jewelry store.
Okay.
This is $998 on sale today.
Oh, on sale. It's gorgeous. I'll take it.
Is this cash or charge, please?
This will be charged.
Well, it looks like the old American Express might take a little bruising right there.
I think Robin got the bulk of the shopping done. I don't think Missy was as loaded down as Robin was, but they picked up some items.
They certainly did. Looks like I can't wait to see what they're going to be wearing here in just a few moments. As a matter of fact, we're going back to Gordon Solie. He'll be talking to the World Tag Team Champions in just a moment.
And you know something? If the Freebirds if the Steiners, I should say, pull this off tonight against the Freebirds, they'll join a very rare list. Only the Anderson brothers and the Briscoe brothers have ever been brother combinations to hold the World Tag Team Championship.
Fans, let's go back now to Gordon Solie, who's standing by with the World Tag Team Champions.
The fabulous Freebirds are the World Tag Team Champions, and in just about 2.5 minutes, they will be defending those titles against the Steiners. I think you'd have to admit in your collective careers, gentlemen, the toughest challenge of your life.
There's no doubt in my mind, Mr. S, it's going to be a tough, stinking match. But every stinking night we have a tough match. And the fact is this, we're still the World Tag Team Champions. Not the Road Warriors, not the Skyscrapers, not the Midnight Express. And it's not going to be the stinking Steiners, because we just don't talk a good fight, we deliver. Tell them, Michael.
You know something, Gordon Solie? I'm sick and tired of getting no respect around here. Let me tell you something. 3 months ago, at the last Clash, we won the world titles the first time we went up for them. And tonight, we will walk out of the ring again, world champions. And you don't have to like it, you don't have to love it, but you better learn how to live with it.
World Tag Team Championship match coming up right after we pause for these messages.
It's coming.
An evening of unspeakable horror.
It's coming.
Terrifying destruction.
It's coming.
A howling good time with the monsters of professional wrestling. It's coming! October 28th, Halloween Havoc 89, settling the score. A pay-per-view event bordering on the edge of insanity. Call your cable operator for availability, if you dare.
I know what's on the Steiners' mind. What's on the Steiners' mind is to go into the Omni, to go into all the arenas that the NWA is coming to as the World Tag Team Champions. And like I said before, they will join a very short list. The Anderson brothers, Jack and Jerry Briscoe, brother combinations to win the World Tag Team title.
Fans, don't forget now to join Jim Cornette and Lance Russell. You can call right now, as a matter of fact, and hear Lance and Joe Pedicino describe the action. There's the number on the screen, 1-900-909-9900. Kids, make sure your parents know you're calling. The Wrestling Hotline, live post-clash show tonight. Should be most interesting with my colleague James E. Cornette and Lance Russell. There's the number on the screen. We hope you will call it tonight. Might be good to turn down the sound and see how they're describing it. Joe Pedicino really likes Robin Green and Missy Hyatt. I know that for a fact.
Well, I hope Lance and Pedicino have got more words in their vocabulary than I do, because there's no way that I could describe Robin Green and Missy Hyatt without actually showing them to somebody. Words can't do it justice. And speaking of justice, it would be poetic justice if Michael Hayes got his head shaved, because the way he treats that hair is a crime.
Two beautiful ladies right there, Robin and Missy. Collar and elbow tie-up. It's going to be Michael Hayes starting out against Scott Steiner. Another great illustration of the young talent base that the NWA possesses right now. I think that, along with the tremendously competitive athletic content of these matches, is really what separates the NWA from all other federations. So competitive, and these young stars are so prevalent here. Arm drag takeover by Scotty Steiner.
Beautiful moves by Scott Steiner, rolls him up.
Hayes rolled right on through, though, to his credit. Steiner pushes him back, Irish whip. A lot of velocity. Oh, he caught him with that left hand. A straight left right to the jaw of Scott Steiner.
But I'll tell you what, Michael Hayes is going to have a long road to hoe to take Scott Steiner and put him out with one punch.
Near fall here, 1-2, and Hayes kicks out.
Just like you said, Jim, one of the young lions of professional wrestling, Scott Steiner, he's been wrestling as a pro for 2 years now. He's 24 years old. He is in his prime and getting better every day.
This crowd here in Columbia, South Carolina, this is the boyhood home of the 28th President of the United States, Woodrow Wilson. I have been studying.
Well, Jim, I'm surprised you would know something like that. I'm even more surprised you would tell anybody else you know that. Like I was saying, Scott Steiner, 24 years old. He was an all-stater in high school football. He's a two-time All-American in wrestling at Michigan. He likes skiing. He likes weightlifting. He says he's interested in dogs and eating. And his goal in professional wrestling is to be the tag team champion with his brother Rick.
Nice football tackle from the reversal by Scott Steiner, going to the ropes. Another counter move by Scotty Steiner, who has dominated this contest thus far. Taking Jimmy Garvin off his feet once again with the arm drag into the arm bar.
Scott Steiner's had the momentum swung his way, especially with those arm drags. First with Michael Hayes, now with Jimmy Garvin. But listen to Garvin. He's a 15-year veteran. He's going to try to intimidate Scott Steiner because Garvin began wrestling at a very early age. Primarily a singles wrestler for quite some time, but he's been a long-time friend of Michael Hayes.
Got in a back suplex. He planted it.
He stuck him in the ground like a fence post.
Don't you feel like this is the night for the Steiners? I feel it in my bones. I really do. That this is the night, the half Boston Crab and a tag made. Here comes the dog-faced gremlin.
And talk about another young lion, Rick Steiner. He may be unorthodox. He may even be eccentric. But he's a 26-year-old. He's been wrestling since the 8th grade like his brother Scott. But he's been a pro for 4 years. Has the edge and experience on Scott.
Yes, it is. The Steiner line delivered 2 times on the World Tag Team Champions. And the dog-faced gremlin is in rare form here.
I don't know whether they taught him that in high school or college. He played football in high school, Jim. He concentrated on wrestling. He's an All-American also at Michigan. And look at Robin Green. She's proud of her man right there. Rick Steiner is the only thing she's been thinking about lately. Well, she's thinking about a few of the new possessions that she picked up on that shopping trip. You know, Rick Steiner, he's a personable guy. You can't help but like Rick Steiner. He's interested in training and in eating like his brother, but he also likes dogs, and he has a large collection, I understand, of hotel towels. In addition, he's an officer in the Bay City, Michigan Three Stooges fan club. I got that info from Scott.
Sergeant at Arms.
And Michael Hayes, an unorthodox move there. I think Hayes fancies himself to be a dancer. Well, he may dance on out of the Carolina Coliseum without the World Tag Team Championship. If the Steiners have anything to do with it, they've got all the moral support on the outside in the form of Missy Hyatt, the First Lady, and Robin Green. And right now, they're not only intimidating the Freebirds, they're out wrestling them, now they're taunting them.
Collared elbow tie-up once again. Steiner with the advantage. Michael Hayes trying to find a way to free himself and get on the offensive. Nice move there by Hayes to avoid Steiner, but he didn't avoid that.
He tried it once too many times.
Caught him in midair.
And Garvin shouldn't have tried that at all. The Freebirds have not been able to get themselves together so far. The Steiners have come here pumped. They're ready. They've been psyched up for weeks. They've got the girls at ringside to cheer them on. And brother, I don't think any power on earth is going to stop the Steiners tonight.
Right there, what a move. Right hands into the Irish whip. Caught him with a clothesline.
Hayes almost managed to put the brakes on, but Steiner just accommodated Hayes by leaning into him with that clothesline.
Hayes now with a cheap shot down below. Downstairs with a kick, but it's reversed by the dog-faced Gremlin, who catches Hayes coming out with another clothesline. Well, the Steiners, when they got to go to something that they need to turn the corner, they'll go to the Steiner line more often than not.
It's effective. It works for them. But
rear hook suplex.
I don't know what he calls that, but it sure does work. And I'll tell you something about these Freebirds.
Big mistake.
I was about to say it.
Will they capitalize on it? That's the question here.
They have the experience to know when to make what moves in the ring.
Good team move. A ferocious form. There's a DDT.
He couldn't have him. No,
that should be off.
This way.
As Scotty Steiner came in and kicked Jimmy Garvin right in the head.
These Freebirds, that's something you got to learn about them. They both turned pro in wrestling as teenagers. They're both veterans. They didn't have the collegiate background. They went to the school of hard knocks. Whereas the Steiners, with some of these unorthodox moves, will just simply out-wrestle you. The Freebirds will out-fight you, and they'll out-cheat you. And believe me, I've been across the ring with the Midnight Express against these guys. I know how dirty they can get.
Fans are keeping a close eye on the situation in the locker room area involving Gary Hart and his contingent. There is something afloat here. And we'll go back to Gordon Solie a little bit later in the broadcast for another report on that situation. Oh, he ran face first into the steel. Face first as flush as he could go.
You know, a lot of guys in the locker room say Rick Steiner is the toughest guy they've ever seen. They just can't believe that Rick Steiner can be hurt. But that steel, the flesh will give before the steel will. I promise you that. And I told you, the Freebirds, they will get dirty. Michael Hayes revolutionized tag team wrestling in 1979 as the leader of the original Freebirds. And ever since then, he's made it a practice. He's made it almost his vow in life to stay on top of the tag team scene. The combination with Jimmy Garvin is a new one, but Garvin's been on a training program. The past few months, he's added about 20 pounds, and it's all muscle. So they are gearing up to be the best set of Freebirds yet.
Oh, big clothesline by Michael Hayes. Stealing one from the Steiner's book. 1-2 with the dog face. Powered out. When you can bench 500 pounds, it helps.
It's almost like Rick Steiner has a button on him that you press, Jim. Whenever somebody covers him, he's going to kick, and he uses the whole body in a whiplash motion to do it.
He's sent for the ride by Jimmy Garvin, who goes downstairs in the abdomen with a big kick. Catch him right in the face with that running kick. Now another lateral press, attempting to grapevine the leg. Could not execute that, and Steiner kicked out at 2.
You got to wonder what's going through Jimmy Garvin's mind, because they have hit Rick Steiner with some heavy artillery, but so far, he's kicked out of every pinfall attempt. I wonder, when Jimmy Garvin rolled off of Rick Steiner then, is he starting to get discouraged, or is he only going to dig down deeper and try another tactic, try another strategy to take the Steiners out?
Steiner's back up to a vertical base to attempt to relieve some of the pressure. Flying mares, Garvin over, but Garvin very quickly back up to his feet, much to his credit, with a counter move to the midsection.
The volume of he's hooking him up for another DDT.
Steiner retaliates with a kick, or a knee rather.
Slingshot suplex. Didn't quite get all the force of the ropes that he could, and Steiner is still down because he's dazed. But it was enough to put Garvin down momentarily. Listen to how these people are behind Rick and Scott Steiner. The volume in the Carolina Coliseum is deafening.
Steiner, he made the tag. Scott Steiner's
stumbled. What happened?
He tripped coming off the ropes. He tripped somehow coming off the ropes. He got DDT'd. The Bird's going to win it.
He had everything going his way.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners and still World Tag Team Champions, the Fabulous Freebirds.
That's a little... That's a little bit fishy. What? He tripped. He stumbled coming out off the ropes. What happened?
He don't have no club foot. He had everything going his way.
We'll see it right here,
We'll
maybe.
see on the replay. He went into the ropes. I couldn't see with the camera angle, but he stumbled right into that DDT. He had everything going his way. He was taking the measure of the Freebirds, and suddenly, wait a minute, what's going on? Let's get back to live action. Let's see what's going on.
Well, so he got tripped, and people are saying that she did it. Was she meaning Missy Hyatt, or she meaning Robin Green?
Well, I think Scott was pointing at Robin, but Rick, I don't know what he's pointing at.
Rick is pointing at Missy.
Who are the people pointing at? I can't.
Well, fans, we'll get
another angle?
We'll get another camera angle, and fans, we'll be back with more of the Clash of Champions. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
And we're back here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do a lot of chaos here and confusion. We're going to take another look. I understand we have one more camera angle to look at. Maybe we can find out something conclusive here. Here it is, Corny. Take a look.
I don't know. Oh, Jim, you cannot see his feet. You can't see his feet on that angle. Like you, they train you in broadcasting. Watch the monitor. I was watching the monitor. I wasn't watching the live action as a result. I don't know what happened.
Well, the fans at ring, somebody said that she did it. Now, Rick Steiner was pointing his finger at Missy Hyatt.
But at the same point, Scott was pointing at Robin Green.
So it's very inconclusive. We'll look at the rest of this videotape as quickly as we can, but I don't know if we've got a better angle than it's ridiculous.
We got to do something. We got to figure out some kind of way, because I don't know. I think they're going down to try to talk to some ringsiders, but it was so quick.
Well, fans, I'll tell you what, we're going to look more into this situation, quite obviously, but right now let's go back up to the ring. Announcer, here's Gary Capetta.
Wrestling fans, the following contest on the Fall Brawl, it is set for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing first, Theodore R. Long, presenting from the State Hospital, weighing 384 pounds, Norman the Lunatic.
All right, fans, Norman the Lunatic, and there's a lot of chaos here right now about who tripped whom. Well, we know who was tripped was Scott Steiner.
Yeah, we just don't know the whom of the who.
Get your hands up right here.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing 226 pounds, Ryan Bryan.
Evidently, Norman the Lunatic. He took offense to the cheerleaders. He tried to cheer himself on, but right now, Flying Brian, he's cooking with gas. And look at those cheerleaders. I think they're having an effect on Flying Brian.
He's trying to get him up, and he suplexed him. Eric Pillman, what a suplex. What an outstanding move. Now he's poised on the apron to go for that big clothesline of his.
Oh, he got Norman. He got Norman straight off that top rope.
Norman scooting to the outside. Wait a minute, keep your eye on Flying Brian. He's going to come out the top. There he comes. High crossbody right out the top on that big monster. 384. And the former Cincinnati Bengal has put Big Norman on the canvas or on the floor.
And now he grabbed the key. He grabbed the key from Teddy Long. But Norman back into the ring. Runs into him from behind, plowed into him, crushed him into the turnbuckles. And now the advantage goes to Norman the Lunatic.
Oh, what a big monster he is under the leadership of Theodore R. Long. Don't forget, fans. Well, I understand that Gordon Solie is rounding up Gary Hart. We will be going to Gordon Solie immediately following the conclusion of this contest about that chaos in the back.
And it may be concluded.
Oh, it's just over right here. He kicked out.
Flying Brian, this kid, tremendous athletic background. He played Pro Bowl with the Bengals, with the Buffalo Bills. He was a two-time football All-American at Miami of Ohio. He was a Playboy All-American. He knows what it's like to gut it up, to come back from adversity. But right now, Norman the Lunatic, almost 400 pounds.
He's measuring him right here, Corny.
This could be it.
Oh, gosh almighty. Right into the Coors Light turnbuckle there. The ring post, and that does not give.
Norman the Lunatic, a strange figure, an eccentric figure, a goofy figure, if you will. They missed him.
Flying Brian moved out of the way, almost landing in the lap of Gary Capetta.
Teddy Long gotta be wondering about his boy now, because here comes Flying Brian. He's only been a pro 2 years, but he knows how to capitalize on an error.
They're gonna get counted out. They've got to hurry and get back in the ring. Flying Brian Air Pillman up on top. Here he comes. Drop kick. He drop kicked him from the top rope.
And Flying Brian, he'll come up with a different way to hit you and a different way to beat you every time.
Look, he slammed him. Flying Brian Pillman slammed the 384-pounder. It's going Flying Brian's way.
And a backdrop.
He elevated a big man.
This is unbelievable. Flying Brian taking a man that's time and a half again his weight and throwing him around.
Upstairs, high cross body, but he was caught there. Oh, power slam. 1, 2.
He got it.
No, he did.
He got the shoulder up.
He did. He got the shoulder up. You're right. I thought he had him pinned.
He got that shoulder up. Flying Brian, tremendous clothesline. Norman's going for it again.
Holy kick. I'll tell you, this kid, he's had so many personal challenges in his life. He's overcome them all. He's trying to do it right here. Wait a minute. That's a wrestling move. He's got the leg and arm grapevine. Norman has nowhere to go. Pillman has won it.
The winner of the match, Flying Brian!
We gotta see that one on the replay, Jim. You know, Norman the Lunatic hasn't been at the top of his wrestling game. There's been a lot of excitement the past couple of weeks at the sanatorium. Jim Baker moved in next door to Norman. He's teaching Norman how to collect tax-free donations. Norman's teaching him a few wrestling holds. But right there, you saw Flying Brian, a tremendous move when it all looked darkest for Brian Pillman. And now Teddy Long is reading at Norman. He's reading him the riot act. He's got that key sticking in his face.
I don't like it, Norman.
He is chewing him out. And Norman, look at Norman. He tried his best.
I've been able to pinpoint part of the problem, I believe, and it is concerning Terry Funk, Mr. Hart.
Look, you've called me back here the second time. Man, you know I've got all kind of things going on. I've got one of the biggest matches in my career ever to take place. If you don't believe Funk's in the building when this is true, come with me. He's in the building.
Well, all right, that's fair enough. I will check that out. That's for doggone sure. And I'll tell you what, we'll get back a little bit later on in the program. Right now, we're going to pause for these important messages. Stay tuned.
Call 1-900-909-9900. Joe Pedicino and Lance Russell are on right now live. Jim Cornette will join Lance for our live post-class program immediately following the broadcast starting at 10:30. And Dr. Death, who knows that this is his time to shine on national television. Oh, the strength of this man is just scary. One, he is. Look at the military pressing Rotunda, who's well over 250.
Dr. Death, what a way to come down into the ring. He ran. I've never seen Doc laid back, but he's fired up tonight. Even though Rotunda stopped him coming through the ropes, he was able to reverse the momentum, come back at Mike Rotunda, and Rotunda's rocking and reeling.
Mike Rotunda, the former defensive tackle for Syracuse, just nailed the former offensive guard from Oklahoma with a big clothesline. That's 15 yards in college football. It's legal in the NWA. And Williams tossed outside to the floor.
You talk about the great athletic backgrounds in the NWA. The parallels between these guys are amazing. Dr. Death, a starting heavyweight wrestler at Oklahoma, a starting offensive guard at Oklahoma. Mike Rotunda, a starting defensive tackle at Syracuse, and a starting heavyweight wrestler at Syracuse. Mike Rotunda, two-time national semifinalist at the ages of 9 and 13 in the old NFL punt, pass, and kick competition. But Dr. Death, what credentials? He was the most recruited high school lineman in football, four-time All-American wrestling in Oklahoma, twice All-Big 8 in football. He played in 4 bowl games. These guys have credentials, and they're making the most of them. But the interesting thing is, the most success either one of these men ever achieved was as partners with each other. They were the World Tag Team Champions.
Indeed they were. An abdominal stretch by Mike Rotunda. I understand Dr. Death's going back to Lakewood, Colorado to be inducted into there as their most outstanding high school athlete of all time. Coming up a little bit later this month, Corny.
September the 30th, Lakewood High School. He'll be the Grand Marshal at the parade there at the homecoming, and they're going to honor him with an award as the greatest athlete ever come out of Lakewood High. And I can't think of any better guy to get it than Dr. Death. You know we're friends. The opposite personalities of these guys. Dr. Death, he's straight up front with you. He's all bare. He comes at you. Mike Rotunda, he's devious, he's sneaky, he's a little bit spoiled. Different personalities. They worked well together as a team, but they've been bitter enemies since the split.
Rotunda out of the Big East. Dr. Death out of the Big 8. Can Dr. Death get him over? No, he cannot on this occasion, but he's got that tenacity. He will not give up. He does get him over. He does get him over. Can he hold him down? Rotunda kicks out at 2.
Time after time, we've said Dr. Death is the toughest man in the world, and I can't think of another candidate. He was taking some shots, but he wouldn't give up until he got Rotunda over in that sunset flip.
Rotunda drops the elbow, grapevines the leg, but Williams, oh, he powered out.
Look at that, he looks like Michael Myers on Halloween when he came home, or maybe Jason Lives. He powered up out of that thing to a sitting position. And you can see Dr. Death has some vengeance on his mind. He's just got to figure a way out of this chin lock.
And speaking of Halloween, on Saturday night, October the 28th in Philadelphia. Remember, fans in the Philadelphia area, tickets are on sale now at the Philadelphia Civic Center box office for our big pay-per-view spectacular. Fans, if you can't be there with us live, call your local cable company. The next pay-per-view spectacular in our sport will be Saturday night, October the 28th.
I'm glad you picked up on that little lead I gave you, Jim. Halloween, and look at that. The referee is not picking up on Mike Rotunda using the ropes for leverage. A lot of people say, what? He just got 1 foot on him. But when you got a guy the size of Dr. Death trying to bull you backwards, all you need is that foot on the ropes to steady yourself. Those aren't really ropes. They're steel cables encased in rubber. They are firm. When he gets that foot back there, it gives him an extra base and a little bit extra leverage.
Thousands of college students from the University of South Carolina here, this great institution founded in 1801 here in Columbia, South Carolina, and they're here in full force, making a lot of noise.
They're making a lot of noise tonight. This school founded in 1801. I don't think they've painted the men's room since 1801. I was in there a little earlier.
Dr. Death dropping straight down, driving Rotunda's chin into Doc's head. He sacrifices his own body to free himself from that offensive maneuver for the high risk, the big power elbow drop. But Rotunda quickly moves out of the way into the lateral press. Young got 2.
Well, Rotunda gave it everything he had there, getting out of the way and trying for that pinfall. But still, Dr. Death able to kick out, able to bull Rotunda back into the corner. He's got to catch a break some way. Doc has just got to get on top of this thing, and I think he can take Rotunda out.
Dr. Death has powered Rotunda back into the corner.
Rotunda's holding him. Rotunda's holding him around the head.
Oh, he thumbed him right in the eye. He thumbed him blatantly right in the eye as the referee was going between the men.
That was a ploy. It was a ploy by Mike Rotunda. He held Dr. Death, forced the referee to come in between him for the break, knowing the referee would have his attention diverted where he could stick that thumb in Doc's eye.
Williams, now the big giant, has been blinded temporarily by Mike Rotunda. Still to come, a battle for the United States Heavyweight Championship. And Gordon Solie will be speaking with a total package in just a few moments.
You know, Rotunda, even when they were partners, Rotunda always had that jealousy, always had that prejudice against Dr. Death because he was from Oklahoma. He even made mention of it on interviews while they were still partners. That added fuel to the fire of their split. I've got to wonder now whether Mike Rotunda sees this as his classic example to show up his conference over Doc's once and for all.
Rotunda going up top, departing from his basic game plan. He stayed there too long, quite obviously. He's going to be able to help the state momentarily, and Williams just snatched him off the top, ran halfway across the ring, and dropped him. I wonder, I'll tell you something. I know the fans are calling our wrestling hotline. Lance Russell and Joe Pedicino with the action. There's the number on your screen. Our live post-clash program, starting at 10:30 tonight. Eastern time, of course, with Jim Cornette and Lance Russell. And right now, Dr. Death has the distinct advantage. He wants to settle this thing once and for all right here in Columbia, South Carolina.
Rotunda slipped in the corner. Doc wheels him out. Into the turnbuckles. He misses a charge. He missed a charge, almost went into the cameraman. Now Rotunda charging again. Caught for a big clothesline, but Doc was able to drop out of the way.
Boy, the intensity of this one between these two great former collegiate athletes has really been phenomenal. And now Williams has snatched up Rotunda. Rotunda trying to hold on to the top rope.
He's got a death grip, but the referee kicked. When they roll back with Doc on the bottom, but Doc rolls up on top.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Doc clotheslined outside by Rotunda. Williams will get the Duke, but Rotunda now to try to add some injury.
He not only hit him from the blind side with that clothesline, he jumped off the ring apron and stomped him in the head. Runs him into the steel barrier. Throws him back into the ring. Rotunda, it was almost a freak thing. I think Doc would have gotten him eventually, but in that case, it was a freak pin. A freak pin, and Rotunda was upset, but now, Doc coming back up. Look at that face. Look at the fire. Look at the animosity.
In just a matter of about 3 minutes, we're going to be seeing the United States Heavyweight Wrestling Champion Lex Luger defending his title against the challenge of Tommy Wildfire Rich. Any comments, Lex?
You know, Gordon Solie, this truly is a showcase event. The largest live wrestling viewing audience in professional wrestling history. And in every showcase event, Gordon, there's a showpiece. And then make no doubt about it. There is one showpiece in the NW today, and his name is the Total Package, Lex Luger. The man who trains the premier wrestler in our sport today. A man who was on a plane by himself in this sport today, undisputably. Lex Luger transcends just being a U.S. heavyweight champion. He transcends the sport itself. Lex Luger is bigger than wrestling itself. Lex Luger is the greatest athlete to grace the ring that has ever come along. And Gordon, tonight, in front of millions of viewers, Lex Luger gets to showcase why he is just what I've explained. Because the Total Package Lex Luger has the combination. They call me the Total Package, Gordon Solie, because I have $1 million body, I have a multi-million-dollar intellect, and you combine those with the desire and the capacity to win at any cost, and the Total Package Lex Luger is unbeatable.
Well, thank you so very much. If confidence is a factor, this man is certainly out to win tonight. We'll be back after this message.
It's coming.
An evening of unspeakable horror.
It's coming.
Terrifying destruction.
It's coming.
A howling good time with the monsters of professional wrestling. It's coming! October 28th, Halloween Havoc 89, settling the score. A pay-per-view event bordering on the edge of insanity. Call your cable operator for availability if you dare.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest in Clash of Champions 8. It is set for one fall to a finish. It is for the United States Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first the challenger from Atlanta, Georgia. He weighs 238 pounds. Wildfire, Tommy gentlemen, from Chicago, Illinois, he weighs 271 pounds. He is the United States Heavyweight Champion, the Total Package, Lex Luger.
Fans, this is the Clash of Champions 8, the Fall Brawl. You're watching TBS, the Superstation, and TBS, the Total Package, is making his way into the ring to defend the coveted United States Heavyweight Championship.
And Tommy Wildfire Rich, the challenger tonight. You heard the introduction, you heard the ovation. Tommy has always been popular with the fans. This is his big chance. And I've got to think that the difference in personalities in these men is much a newsmaker as the match itself, as a potential title change. You have Tommy, originally from Hendersonville, Tennessee. He's a country boy at heart. You got Lex Luger from Chicago, Illinois, the big city. Was born of a well-to-do family. It's a different work ethic with Tommy Rich and Lex Luger. It's a different style with Tommy Rich and Lex Luger. You heard Luger say he's bigger than the sport itself. I don't believe that, except if you're talking about his head, because Tommy Rich has more in his background in professional wrestling to brag about than Lex Luger so far. For all the potential, for all the tools that Luger possesses, Tommy Rich has been there. He turned pro at the age of 17 in his home state of Tennessee. He was winning regional titles when he was 18. He was the youngest Southern heavyweight champion ever. He was a main event star in Japan at the age of 21. He was the most popular wrestler in the country at the age of 22. He was the second youngest NWA World Heavyweight Champion ever. But Tommy doesn't brag about those things because Tommy's not that kind of guy.
It's almost like it's blue jeans and cowboy boots versus custom-made Italian suits in this one. Collar and elbow tie-up. Rich at 238 has got to get the big man off his feet in this one. For Tommy Rich to win the title here, he's got to be a great mat wrestler. He'll fight you. He's got a quick temper. I don't think this is the way to go, however, to beat the Total Package. If Tommy can contain his composure, I think he's got a chance, but he's got to get the big man off his feet and keep him there for a sustained amount of time.
And that's exactly what he's doing. He's got Luger rocking and rolling. And he will wrestle you on the mat, Tommy Rich will. He's got a lot of experience at it. He shouldn't go toe-to-toe with Lex Luger because Luger has been in brawls with the biggest and the best. And as you can see, he's still got that U.S. Heavyweight Championship around his waist. Luger, as a matter of fact, in his 4th year as a pro, finishing up the 4th year, he's held the U.S. title 3 times. But Tommy Rich, he'll be the first one to admit it. Over the past couple of years, he's been in a slump. He was like the U.S. Olympic athletes. They win the gold medal. They're the best in the world at the age of 20 or 21. But like some young men do, they don't handle success in the best way. Tommy was in a slump, but now he has fought his way back to the NWA. He's in title contention. He's ready to make a major move, and that move he wants to make is to put that title belt around his waist.
Good football shoulder block there by the Total Package, Lex Luger. Well, fans, we understand that with this Terry Funk thing, we know that he is in the building. But we do know that he sustained an injury a few days ago and had to have some surgery. We're going to have Gary Hart has provided, I understand. We'll have more on that with Gary and Gordon. Gordon is really working hard in the locker room area to really get to the bottom of this situation. As a matter of fact, Gordon, he made the comment on WNN News that Gary Hart would have a master plan. And something's afloat here, James.
I tell you what, knowing Gary Hart as I do, and he's got more experience than any manager in wrestling, I would have to see Terry Funk laid out and people singing sad songs over him before I thought that he was out of things. Boom.
What a right hand by Tommy Wildfire Rich, right back to the arm drag. And as we said, look where Lex Luger is. For Luger to be effective now, let's look at the other side of the coin. He's got to remain on a vertical base. He has the strength and leverage advantage when he does. He does not have any advantage in this particular position.
And you saw a few minutes ago when he hit Tommy Rich with that beautiful tackle. Tommy went down, he popped right back up on his knees, he put his hands on his hips, and he looked at Lex Luger. He didn't get hot, he didn't get off his game plan. Tommy's too cool, and he's too much of a veteran for that. He knew the bigger man could put him down, so he just got up and went back to the quick moves.
Luger now with the power moves. That is his forte. He has great uncanny quickness for a man his size, but he likes the power moves. Tommy Rich, lightning quick right there. High cross body, but Luger quickly kicks out. But it's Rich back to the advantage, taking Luger off his feet, but Luger back to a semi-base here, relieving some of the pressure.
You saw he almost snapped right back up to that knee. He wants to get up as quickly as possible. Doesn't want Tommy to keep him down. You know, this is almost like a single version of the Freebirds versus the Steiners. The Freebirds, graduates of the schools of hard knocks, turned pro as teenagers, much like Tommy Rich. Lex Luger, much like the Steiners, tremendous athletic background. He was an offensive tackle with the University of Miami. He played several seasons of professional football.
He made a mistake right there. There's a cradle. 1, 2, and a near fall. We almost had a new champion. Inside cradle. He's got the legs grapevine. He cannot hold him, though. Back to the arm drag. Taking the big man right off his feet.
Tommy Rich is doing a superior job of frustrating Lex Luger. Lex Luger, the guy born with a silver spoon in his mouth, if you will. Lex Luger, the guy who's always had everything at his fingertips, who's become bigger than professional wrestling, has been frustrated by a country boy from Hendersonville, Tennessee, and I like it.
It's like a very polished boxer getting in the ring with Iron Mike Tyson, who I know is watching this broadcast from Cleveland with his manager, promoter Don King tonight. Big fans of the NWA. But it's that great classic boxing style, keeping the guy off balance. That's what Tommy Rich has got to do here with Luger. If he lets it slow down, and he lets Luger control the pace, Tommy Rich, who is the underdog, is going to be in for a long, long night if he lets that continue.
And I'll tell you something else. Look at that. Beautiful. I'll tell you something else about Tommy Rich. I've known him for a long time.
Mistake.
He made a mistake there with that drop kick, but I've known Tommy Rich for a long time. They don't call him Wildfire for nothing. He's got a fire that burns down inside of him. He's highly competitive. He doesn't give up. Tommy Rich is indeed a wildfire when he gets going. But more importantly, it's almost impossible to beat him because you just can't make him give up.
Power move right there. Power slam. Luger got 2 out of it. I'll tell you something, photographers from around the country. I know Dennis Brent's covering this event for the official publication of the NWA, the Wrestling Wrap-Up. Bill Apter's here from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Jimmy Suzuki from the Japanese publications as well. An international event, and you're seeing it live right here. This is the Clash of Champions 8, the Fall Brawl. And now Luger working on the lower back. Now the lateral press, 1. That won't get him there. He's setting him up for the human torture rack. One can almost see from
He's
this.
working on that back. That's exactly what he's doing. You see Bill Apter, like you mentioned there, any event that makes Bill Apter put a towel on, that's a big event. He even combed what little hair he has left. Wait a minute, Tommy was able to hold on to the second rope.
Boy, there's no quitting this kid from the volunteer state. Now the ladder, 1, 2, it's a Luger. Oh, he kicked out at 2.5. Misses with a clothesline. All the way over. The total package has made a mistake here.
He made a drastic error. Tommy Rich doesn't give up that fire that burns in his stomach. He's going to show Lex Luger that he's been there and he wants to be there again. And I wonder, does Luger have that same mental toughness? We'll find out if Tommy Rich has his way.
Tommy's going to have to really muscle him up. Can he get him over? No, he could not. Luger off balance. He got 2 out of it.
Once again, Tommy came out from under it.
Tommy tried a power move, and that's not his style. Could not get him over. This is a power move from a power wrestler.
A power wrestler, Lex Luger, what a physique. He is a dedicated bodybuilder.
Oh, look at this.
He is a dedicated weightlifter. Oh, Tommy, just in the nick of time. Just in the nick of time. Right here on TBS. to prominence in the early days of the Superstation. He was the most popular wrestler in the world. And he wants to win here on TBS to regain that former glory, to regain the fire that he knows he's still got.
How much more can Tommy Rich take? His lower back has really been punished by the total package. He tried to get him up. Tommy Rich slid right off the back from the perspiration, but Luger held on.
They're so sweaty. The same thing happened to Tommy Rich. He tried to roll up, but Luger, you can see the sweat dripping off of him. Tommy's grip just loosened. He slipped right off, and now Luger, you know what this means, Jim? I believe he's trying to set him up for a superplex.
Right hand right below the heart of Tommy Rich. The total package squaring himself on the second turnbuckle. Tommy Rich, another punishing move to the lower back.
Tommy Rich, I don't know how anybody can sustain this much punishment and still come back. Tommy will tell you he's not the biggest, he's not the baddest, but he'll fight you.
And he kicks out. He will not quit. You've got to hand him that. He keeps competing, and you know the pain has got to be riveting right through his spine.
The people here in Columbia, South Carolina, the people in his adopted hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, and all across the country on the Superstation, they're rooting for Wildfire tonight.
What a camera shot here. Luger goes for all of it, but Rich moved out of the way at the very, very last moment.
And now Tommy Rich has a new lease on life. He's got one more chance to show the world what he's made out of, and I think he's going to make the most of it.
This is why they call him Wildfire. He needs a 3 count.
He's got Luger backing off, begging off, trying to get away from the attack. Sends him into the ropes again. Beautiful, beautiful.
Tommy now going to the second turnbuckle. He senses this may be all. He drops a right hand right to the forehead of the total package. Crawls on top. He got 1, he got 2, but that's all.
And that time it was Luger's turn to barely be able to kick out of that lateral press. Tommy, he's not going to quit. There's the Thesz press.
The Thesz press. 1, 2. Luger's foot's on the rope.
Luger got his foot on the ropes. Tommy has won many a match, including the World Heavyweight Championship with the Lou Thesz press.
And the great Lou Thesz won his first one in 1937 at the age of 17 with that very maneuver. Oh, right there, Rich. Big right hand, and he hit the ring post.
He was trying to throw a haymaker, but Luger ducked out of the way. Tommy's fist went into the ring post. Oh, he hit him again. He's right-handed. Tommy Rich is right-handed. What's he going to do? He can't use his right hand. The sleeper. The sleeper.
Well, he's got him in a position where he cannot keep it on very long. He can't sustain it.
Oh!
Luger with a great strength with a hangman-like maneuver.
Luger dropped 278 pounds of his body weight down and fell backwards through the ropes. Oh, no. Oh, no, Jim.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner and still United States Heavyweight Champion, the Total Package, Lex Luger.
And Tommy Rich going after him yet. Down the aisle.
Rich still full of fire, but he'll have to wait for another day here. Luger standing his ground. We'll take another look at it here.
Luger used his weight, sat down on the apron, dropped his throat right across the top rope, and then literally fell, stumbling backwards through the ropes onto Tommy Rich. What a valiant fight. I hate to see him lose it.
Gordon Solie is still standing by now with, I understand, with Gary Hart. And now let's go back to Gordon Solie and Gary Hart.
Thank you, Jim. I think now we're going to get to the bottom of the situation with Gary Hart.
All night you've been following me around, Mr. Inside Edition, trying to find out what the gossip is. Now it's time that I feel that I should let you and the nation know. I have a certified letter from a doctor in Alexandria, Louisiana, who performed the operation on Terry Funk. As you well know, he's in the building, and the film that you'll see is self-explanatory.
All right, I understand he's delivered a tape to the engineers. Let's take a look.
You simple-minded people have your nerve to come into this hospital room, to gloat at me in pain. This is what Ric Flair did to me when he repeatedly beat on my arm with that branding iron. It became infected, and I came that far from losing my arm. Oh, does that sound funny to you people? Oh, I'll bet you enjoy that, don't you? Well, how are you going to enjoy Tuesday night's clash because I am going to be there. If I have to crawl out of the Lady of the Lake here in Louisiana and crawl all the way to Atlanta, I will, because I will be there Tuesday night. Don't change your dial off of WTBS. Leave it on there, because you're going to see Terry Funk get Ric Flair. I promise you that, damn it.
Well, Jim, the situation now with Terry Funk and Gary Hart certainly changes the entire complexion of what we're going to be seeing in just a couple of moments. What about strategy on this now, Rick?
Well, Gordon, I'm not surprised at all. Sting and I signed the contract for this match a month ago. We knew where we were in this sport, and we know where we are tonight. And Terry Funk, I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you're a hurt man. You're dying inside, pal. You cannot stand the fact that you went to the hospital, you took a trip. It wasn't me, it wasn't Sting. You got an arm wrapped in a cement cast, not me. You're here tonight, that's great. Fair's fair. This is love and war all at one time, pal. And if you're in this building, we don't care who Muda's partner is, you got an open invitation to walk that aisle, pal, because the Stinger, woo, and the Nature Boy are in Columbia, South Carolina, live and ready to fight.
It's gonna be history, Nature Boy. I can feel it, just like Clash of the Champions #1 when we were standing just like this.
Give it to me,
Only difference is now we're standing like this, side by side. And guess what? Terry Funk, Muda, Terry, we know you're in the building somewhere. It doesn't matter where you are, because wherever you are, I know that heart's going ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Muda, you the same way. You're in walking distance now, Funk. Just show up in the ring and, woo, the Nature Boy and the Stinger. History once again.
In a few minutes, blood, sweat, and tears. This is the fall brawl. And baby, the Sting, woo, and the Nature Boy are on top of their game, right? I feel
All right, I tell you what, we're going to find out who's the trapper and who's the trap. Let's get to Gary Caputa now for the introductions.
Wrestling fans, the following contest on this Superstation Spectacular is a special tag team attraction. It is set for one fall to a finish. Introducing Gary Hart's team. First, from Tampa, Florida, he weighs 251 pounds. Dirty Dick Slater. His tag team partner from the land of the rising sun, the Pearl of the Orient and world television champion, the Great Muta.
Well, the mystery has been solved as far as who will be the partner of the Great Muta, Dick Slater. And fans, we will have the introductions of Ric Flair and Sting right after this very brief timeout.
California. He weighs 265 pounds. This is Sting. And his tag team partner, hailing from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 245 pounds. And for the sixth time, he is the World Heavyweight Champion, Nature Boy.
This is what they came to see, it would seem, here in Columbia, South Carolina.
The place has gone crazy. It's Ric Flair Day in the state of South Carolina. You heard the governor say it. All these people are in agreement with it. And they came to see this match, and they're going to get
Gary Hart has got the supreme opportunity to make a dramatic impact as far as this sport is concerned in this contest. It was scheduled, obviously, to be Terry Funk and the Great Muta. Funk was injured last week in a match against Nature Boy Ric Flair down in the Bayou State. The Lady of the Lake Hospital in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was where the interview, I must state, some days ago was taped. It was taped.
That's right.
Funk is in this facility somewhere.
So he claims. With Gary Hart, you can never be sure what's happening. I would tend to believe that Terry Funk would not turn down an opportunity, not pass up a chance.
The Great Muta spraying the red.
He sprayed that red mist in the air. As I was saying, Terry Funk would not pass the opportunity to get revenge on the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Sting and the Great Muta squaring off. Bitter feelings between these two, and Dick Slater. Dick Slater, the replacement for Funk, has a cast on his lower arm caused by Ric Flair and the branding iron some weeks ago here on TBS. A lot of hard feelings among all four of these men.
Sting lost the television championship in a very, very controversial decision in the Omni in Atlanta, where the NWA returns on Sunday night, October the 8th. The home base of the NWA and World Championship Wrestling. I talked to Jimmy Suzuki, Jimmy, about the significance of the spray. We have seen Muta spray red and green in one match.
That's correct.
He also, the Oriental Custom, the yellow spray is the most dangerous. And I understand that we've not ever seen that in the United States. I hope we don't here tonight as well. And the Stinger displaying that tremendous power, the great resiliency that he possesses with those clotheslines on Slater and Muta, and Gary Hart is regrouping his troops on the outside. I keep wanting to look over my shoulder and see Terry Funk. You've got to think that there's something, well,
there's something in the air tonight. And Ric Flair has got some tension in the air out of these people at the Carolina Coliseum. And Sting still in the ring and has the Great Muta bailed out. You know, talking about Jimmy Suzuki, fine correspondent photographer for the Japanese wrestling magazines. I'd like to get a hold of him before our next broadcast and talk to him about how the Japanese people feel about Muta. Do they respect him for coming to the top of the NWA and being one of their people? Or are they down on him because he's aligned himself with a man like Gary Hart? I wonder how they're feeling right now in Japan. Jimmy Suzuki, just like you talked to him, he'd be a good person to answer that question as well.
Side headlock by the Great Muta. Sting shoots him off to the ropes and drops down. And catches it. Oh, what an arm drag. Well, that was a power arm drag.
He snatched him over. Slater trying for the tag. Slater, I don't know whether that's going to be a handicap or a weapon that cast on his arm.
Well, I'll tell you something. It's a weapon. Let's just dispel that rumor or that assumption. You know as well as I do, if one of your men had a cast on his arm, Corny, that you're going to say, hey, if you can wrestle with a cast, then let's use it as a weapon. Gary Hart really doesn't care about the welfare of Dick Slater, one would not think.
I don't think Gary Hart cares about the welfare of anybody. And I think Gary Hart figures if Dick Slater is capable of getting in there, if he wants to get in there, whatever happens to him, Dick Slater's own business. That's the difference between me and Hart. I got loyalty to my men.
Muta going downstairs on the Stinger, he versus the Irish Whip, sends him for the ride, and elevates the Pearl of the Orient up in the lights, catching with another arm drag, taking him over.
Sting so far keeping the momentum on his side. The Great Muta got to be figuring, what in the world is going on? I'm sitting here smack dab in the middle of South Carolina, a long way from Tokyo. It's Ric Flair Day. The people have their faces painted like Sting. They're howling and wooing, and he's got to be wondering why he ever left Japan.
And the roar of the crowd goes up. Listen to this. Oh, he chops him so physically.
To my knowledge, is this the first time that Flair and Muta have legally been in the ring together?
I think you're exactly right. Ooh. Listen to these chops. We can pick them up from our handheld cameras on the ring apron. Flair kicking Muta right to the ribs. Indeed it is Ric Flair Day here in the state of South Carolina. And now the veteran from Tampa, Florida.
You heard Governor Carroll Campbell, you know, his son, Mike Campbell, a very big wrestling fan, is in attendance tonight.
Collar and elbow tie-up, and Slater very dangerous in this position. He chopped him.
Flair's just too much right now. Too much in the corner for Slater. Like Governor Campbell said, Ric Flair, he's the #1 wrestler of the past decade in the NWA. He's held every title in the National Wrestling Alliance, beginning with that Mid-Atlantic title in his rookie year. Beginning with the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team title, he's held Tag Team Championships. He went right up, straight up the ladder to the NWA World title, which he first won on September 17th, 1981. He's held it 6 times. He's dominated that belt ever since.
I think we can safely say he's dominated the sport. He is the trendsetter in our sport, the most aggressive world champion in history.
He's defended his title against every challenger for all these years. Right, upside down, he chops Muta.
Right off the apron. And now Flair up on top, catches Slater with the elbow off the top. Muta comes in, Flair chops him.
Ric Flair's a one-man wrecking crew, but he caught a karate kick. He caught that reverse thrust kick. Flair, somebody said to me, are Flair and Sting going to be able to match teamwork together?
Oh, to the top! Muta all the way over the top with a high crossbody. And here comes Sting over the top of Muta. And Slater over the top now, all 4 on the outside. This is a barroom brawl on the outside. The bones and flesh smacking against the steel. Muta on the apron. Flair chopping Slater.
And Flair's taking it to Slater. Slater's a barroom brawler. His out-of-the-ring fights have sometimes got more publicity than his inside-the-ring fights. But Flair is taking it to Slater.
And Flair and Slater are the legal men in the ring, as I try to keep some semblance of order here as to who is legal.
Unbelievable sequence of moves. First it was Muta with a dive over the top rope on Flair, then Sting with a dive over the top rope on Muta. Gary Hart trying to regroup his men. Ric Flair and Sting. Someone asked me, is their teamwork going to be down? They've never teamed. They've only been friends for a short time. But Ric Flair, unbeknownst to some people today, because he's dominated the singles title for so long, has been a World Tag Team Champion on several occasions. But Gary Hart has the branding iron. Gary Hart has Terry Funk's branding iron, and I didn't see him with it a few minutes ago.
Well, that's awfully strange.
I did not see, unless Gary Hart's some kind of magician, I did not see Gary Hart with the branding iron of Terry Funk a few minutes ago.
Well, where the branding iron is, Funk is not far behind. As Flair continues the physical onslaught, elbowing that broken arm of Dick Slater. And the Stinger now from the second rope, coming right down across the arm.
Listen to that roar from the fans here. Sting is the hottest property in professional wrestling. He's a future world champion, I'm sure of it, and he should be the man in the NWA in a few years. I have that much confidence in this young man. Sting is hot, and he's getting hotter every day. And I'll tell you who he's hot at, the great Muta. Because Sting, his first major title in the NWA, and Muta stole it from him. That's all you can say. There's controversy, there's taking advantage of a mistake, and then there's thievery. And Muta, I say, stole that title from Sting with the help of Gary Hart.
I will concur on that statement. And Flair now working on the arm of Dick Slater. The great Muta comes in. Tommy Young, senior official in the NWA, forcing Muta back out. Double team move there by Flair and Sting. And Sting now will come in legally, bearing the kick to the midsection of Dick Slater.
Slater, like we say, a street fighter. He's a veteran. He can also wrestle, but he likes to play it dirty. He hasn't used that cast as of yet. He hasn't had the chance, but you can bet the first time he does get the chance, he will.
Snap suplex by the Stinger. On top for the lateral press, but Slater kicked out.
I've got to ask you, Jim, would that be a judgment call on the part of the referee? Is the cast, certainly it's a weapon, it's a foreign object, but then again, would that be a judgment call?
I think it certainly would here. And Sting trying to fight his way out of the corner. He's fighting with vengeance, fighting both men off. He's fought his way out of the corner, and he nails Muta with the right hand. Side headlock. Muta now sent for the ride. Oh, he's got him up. Military pressing him over his head. And now Flair has been tagged in. Or at least he's been tagged. He isn't in yet.
He brought the point of that elbow right down across the face of the great Muta.
Side suplex by Flair. Man, he's the greatest tactician in this sport today.
The greatest technician, and what's more, he has returned 100% from that neck injury. Ric Flair, amazing physical specimen. He survived a plane crash in 1975. It broke his back. He was out of action for only 6 months. He returned to accomplish the things that he has accomplished in professional wrestling. On May the 7th, Terry Funk injured his neck, re-injured what was injured in the plane crash. He came back in 2 months, and he's better than ever.
Muta now taking control of this contest on the heavyweight champion of the world. Sends him for the right handspring. Oh! Great camera shot taking you right inside the ring, and the heavyweight champion is in jeopardy here in this tag team event.
Muta, you can tell he's well-schooled in gymnastics, like probably some of the Japanese Olympic gymnasts who've been trained from an early age in gymnastics and martial arts. He speaks little or no English. He only communicates with Gary Hart.
Slater with big chops to the chest of the Nature Boy. Catching with an elbow on the top of the head. Slater with a straight left-hand jab. But Flair, he fights back, but Slater is tough. He is double tough. He likes the pain, but Flair fights back. This one is so physical here in the NWA.
Slater was looking him right in the eye. He was saying, come on, big boy, give me all you got. And Flair had him going. But he stopped that reverse neck breaker, stopped Ric Flair in his tracks, and they're going now for the injured neck that Terry Funk started the job on in Nashville, Tennessee on May the 7th.
Muta's got his feet extended here. Referee's helpless. All he can do is count. And Flair ran face first into the outstretched legs, feet, I should say specifically, of the Great Muta.
And we're seeing a preview right here the first time. Ric Flair and the Great Muta have been in the ring. I think Muta is going to be a serious challenger at some point for the World Heavyweight title. Muta has been undefeated for 8 months in the NWA ever since his debut.
No one has pinned this man. Could this be the night that he suffers his first pinfall defeat? And Flair thrown outside. His neck has really been the focal point here. And Slater comes off again. The attack on Flair is from the neck up.
They are working on the weak point. It was Terry Funk who caused the injury. Gary Hart's men now trying to capitalize on that. And you've got to wonder still, what about Terry Funk? That branding iron appeared. Gary Hart obviously had it somewhere, but Terry Funk didn't let that branding iron get too far out of his sight.
Flair fights back with all the force that he can muster. Snap mare by the Great Muta, who goes to the ropes. Power elbow drop to the solar plexus of the heavyweight champion.
He doesn't try to get any height. He just goes in with that speed and drives the elbow to the midsection. Look at the fingers in his mouth. I don't understand the significance of the fingers in the mouth. It's a common thing for Muta to do, usually before a nerve hold or a karate thrust.
It's almost as if he gathers strength in his hand from that particular maneuver. I don't know if it's ceremoniously or what the significance is exactly, to be frank with you. Inverted atomic drop. I know the consequences of that.
Flair gave him the inverted atomic drop. It almost didn't loosen Muta's grip.
Slater's been tagged.
So tight, but so is Sting.
Sting and Slater, the legal man. Sting is rested, and he is coming in as a house of fire.
He's got Slater going. And now, nails one for Muta for good measure.
Sting is in the wrong part of town right here. He's in a dangerous corner. Tag made, and Sting's not aware of it, I don't think.
Oh, Muta's catching him. He's trying to fight out of the corner just like he did a few minutes ago. And he's succeeded. He backs Muta up, sends him off. Another press slam.
Big gorilla slam there by the Stinger. Flair across to attack Slater.
This thing's breaking into a Pier 6 brawl again. Flair nearly pulling Slater's tights off to jerk him out on the floor. The Stinger splash.
The Stinger splash. Muta's in trouble.
Sting, he's going to get that Scorpion Deathlock. He's going to get the Scorpion Deathlock on the Great Muta. There's Gary Hart. The referee is counting on Flair. Gary Hart hit Sting with
a roll of coins. They're scattered all over the mat cover.
I couldn't tell whether it was washers or kids. Yeah, it's a roll of coins. You see the shiny metal all over the ring.
Hart came in while the referee was...
It came in this way.
Please don't let this happen.
Cannot.
Oh, yeah! He got out of it.
He got it. He got out of it just in the nick of time. He got that shoulder up. Gary Hart came in with the roll of coins while Sting had Muta
quick. Will take advantage, no doubt here.
Muta letting Slater take over, saying, see what you can do with him. Try to beat him any way you can. Slater setting up for something. Boomeranging his throat up under the bottom rope.
Come on, Stinger, get up and go.
Gary Hart, I think, was claiming that some of the fans threw coins into the ring. The referee sees him, but he obviously didn't see what happened. This thing has been so wild, there's no way even we watching the TV cameras, 6 cameras, we can't even keep track of it, much less a referee in the middle of the fight.
Slater now has Sting on the outside. The Stinger is in bad trouble here. Was hit in the head by a roll of coins by Gary Hart. The coins scattered all over the ring.
He just got slammed on his hip there. I don't care whether they're a wrestling match down or not. There's no give in that conflict four.
Flair very anxious. He's impatient. He wants back in. And Muta slamming Sting into the railing. And Flair all the way around. Big chop by the champion to intervene for his partner. But Muta back to the attack. Muta is not legal. It is Dick Slater, the legal man for his team in this contest.
They have hit the Sting with some heavy artillery over the past couple of minutes. And now Slater goes to a sleeper, but Sting drops out of it.
Oh, what a desperation maneuver by Sting, ramming Slater's chin right into the top of his head.
Sting falls back into the ropes. A collision. If Sting had realized where he was, he could have fell back for the tag. But he's been hit by so many different things from so many different directions, he didn't realize Flair was behind him.
Tommy Young exercising team, but both men back up to their feet. Slater's trying to set Sting for the pile driver, but Sting powers out. It took every ounce of strength that he could muster to power out of that attempted pile driver by Dick Slater.
Slater was flat on his back, but he made the tag. He made the tag, and here comes the champ.
Flair, oh, physical action. Big chop to the chest, right hand to the face of Dick Slater. He's knocked him down.
He's cleaning house with both of them. Now Sting comes in, gets a shot on Muta, now turns him around and starts teeing off. They're all four in the ring again. We knew this was going to be a fight. It's the wildest thing we've seen so far tonight. Muta down on the floor, Flair stomping Slater out on the floor.
Sting's got Muta up. Muta just sprayed Sting right in the face. He sprayed him right in the face, Corny.
He sprayed him. I saw it when Sting picked Muta up.
He sprayed the yellow.
That was a yellow spray. You can see it all over Sting.
He cannot see. Sting, he's rolling around the outside. He cannot see.
Can we get a shot of Sting? He's got that yellow spray all over his face, and he's screaming in pain.
Flair's got the figure four, and Slater just nailed Flair right in the face with a cast. He hit him right in the face with that cast, and Flair has been busted open.
Flair has got to fight these guys both now. They're both in the ring against Flair. The referee suffered a collision, has been knocked to the floor, and Flair is going in alone against two of the most dangerous men in professional wrestling. Sting has been blinded. He can't see.
Sting cannot see the yellow spray in the face. Flair has to fight both men, and Flair has been busted. Wait a minute. Terry Funk is here.
That's Funk. It's Funk. He's finally here. He's got a plastic bag, Jim.
He's put a plastic bag over Ric Flair. Flair will not be able to breathe. He's tying it off. Funk is deranged. He's tying it off.
Flair can't imagine what's happened to him or why. He's been beaten by Slater and Muta. Now Funk with a plastic bag, and he's tied it. He's tied it around Ric Flair's neck.
He's trying to choke, literally, the life out of the champion. That plastic bag over his face. Flair cannot breathe.
Sting has his eyes cleared up somewhat. He's trying to come in and fight.
The branding iron has been tossed into the ring. Flair is out of it.
Get a shot of Sting. They've got Sting down. Slater has that branding iron. Muta holding Sting's leg off the apron of the ring.
Sting is going to be hit.
No!
Oh, God, right across the shin bone, right across the foot with that branding iron.
He got him right down there in the leg. They bit
the branding iron on his leg. Fans, that's just chaotic.
This is unbelievable.
We got to. They've been disqualified. We'll try to clear it up.
We have to take this break. We can't take this break.
We have to. We'll be back. Don't go away. We'll keep our cameras taping. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And we're back here, ladies and gentlemen, on TBS's Superstation. They have
giving Ric Flair mouth-to-mouth resuscitation from that plastic bag that was over his head. We don't have a great deal of time, Corny. This is so tragic right here.
Jim, this is the most horrible thing I've ever seen happen. Flair was down on the ground from that plastic bag attacked by Terry Funk. Brian Pillman was the first one to his side. He tried to administer some aid. I believe he gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. The paramedics have been called. They have got the inhalator now on Ric Flair.
Gordon Solie down there too as well, I see. Doug Dillinger, head of security. Yes, we're not going to have a lot of time. We'll try to talk more about it tonight.
They're
bandaging on the Wrestling Hotline wrap-up. Remember, we'll have that live. As soon as we go off the air, we'll keep you apprised of this, so be sure and call that number, and we'll have a full report, of course, this Saturday night, 6:05 on the Superstation on World Championship Wrestling. This is so tragic right here.
I saw that inhalator going over Flair's mouth earlier, and now they're bandaging the cut. I believe they're going to try to...
Sting's leg, Sting has been carried out, or he's been administered to. He may have a broken foot, I'm not sure. We'll know more about it a little bit later. But Sting was hit. They bent the branding iron over his foot or his leg. I couldn't see.
He took the full brunt of that blow with the branding iron right over the lower part of the leg or the foot. Like you said, he's being administered to. Ric Flair is down with the paramedics, with the chief of security. Flying Brian, as we said, the first one to his side. This is tragic.
It really is. How do you describe something like this, fans?
This has gone too far.
We'll see you
They have
Saturday
gone
night
too
at
far.
6:05.
They've gone too far.